Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Sabrina Victoria. This is Her Talk Show, and we are here talking to Orsi today. We're going to be talking about launching your course easily without the tech overwhelm. This is a topic we need to talk about. Not only are there so many individuals that want to launch a course but don't because it's just so overwhelming, there's just as equally as many people are in the middle of trying to launch a course and they're just like, and taking forever to do it because it's just so overwhelming. So I'm so excited for this topic. For those of you listening live, for those of you listening on the replay, make sure you get comfortable. We're going to be talking about all of the challenges and how to easily overcome course creation. Orsi is here to give us some insights and some inspiration. Let's jump in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Hello, if you're listening live, welcome. If you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We're here every day delving deep into the realms of health, wealth, and leadership with some of the most brilliant women globally. We've interviewed over 600 women, and today we are adding another one to the list. Orsi is the lead designer at Design You Need, a brand and web design agency helping establish businesses to have a strong online presence. Her main goal is to help course creators launch their courses on time and without the tech overwhelm. She and her team take over the daunting tasks of course platform setups, website adjustments, branding, SEO, and email funnel automation. Her mission is to be the tech partner women can rely on while achieving their dreams of getting their courses out to the world and generating passive income. Welcome, lady.
Hi, it's so great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you being here. I think this is one of the dreams of so many business owners, online business owners, is course creation. And I think it is also like there's a lot of walls up around it because of just unknowing all of the things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even today, if you look around, it seems like everyone is having a course, everyone is launching one, and the market is super saturated. But statistics say that the market is going to increase with 32% still in 2025, and it's going to increase with $63 billion by 2027. So it's something to consider still, especially since COVID. A lot of people realize that online is an option. You don't have to do in-person courses that require you to travel, be there, show up. You can just sit in your comfort of your own home and attend a course, which can vary based on price, but there's still a lot of options out there. So I would encourage everyone who has an idea to start out and see how it goes.
Yes, wow, what interesting numbers. I freaking love that, and I can see that. I was actually listening to a commercial on the I don't wanna say it was on the radio, it was probably a podcast. Um, there was a college that was offering video online courses, which I had never it's probably a thing, but I just had never heard of it before. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's insane." No teacher. Or maybe
Yeah.
there is a teacher, but just that kinda, like, pops in every once in a while.
Yeah, it's been a shift lately. Even colleges and big universities offer this to speak to global audience, so you don't have to be residing in a specific country. You can apply and join that course from a different country as well. And what they usually do is trying to appeal to different budgets. So they would reduce the costs with pre-recorded videos, pre-recorded sessions, so you can watch them um, within your own space and pace. And then they offer these live Q&A sessions, so that's the only time when the teacher would have to show up. So it also gives space for the teacher to be able to do his own thing while students are learning on their own pace, and then show up for the Q&A. So there's also like personal connection going on.
I love that. I'd love to dip a little bit and kind of maybe touch on who can run courses. I think so often we just assume that like math teachers run courses, or if you're learning something that's more like textbook, that's what a course is for. What are your thoughts as far as somebody who's doing surfing, or somebody who is a baker, or somebody who does hair? Is there a possibility to run a course in pretty much any industry? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think definitely. Like even the most in-person thought industry could use and can use online courses. Just consider, and I can speak for myself. During COVID, there was no way to get into a hairdresser. Like hairdressers were closed down. You couldn't get an appointment, and my hair was kind of messed up by a hairdresser just like one day prior to the lockdown. And I reached out to the guy. I literally, like, my hair used to be blonder, and I literally, when I pulled it up in a ponytail, I had like a really blonde stripe here and one in the back. And the back one I couldn't even see until my sister was there, and she was like, what's that in your back of your head? And she took a picture, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my god, I paid a lot of money for this, and the guy didn't even see that. But I couldn't go back because it was lockdown. So what does a creative entrepreneur do? I went on YouTube and I tried to look for, videos, and I found a girl who's offering actually like mini course and all like different types of courses on how you can do your hair at home, because everyone was, at home, and you had to figure it out. So I bought the equipment and I watched all of her videos, and she was so detailed that I could do my hair for myself, so I could fix it and I didn't look so and this is something that I'm not saying, like, I wouldn't recommend to everyone, especially if you're trying to do blonde, because it can, damage your hair. But the way she thought it, even without being an expert in the field, she explained all the chemistry, like on the level that I had to know in order not to mess up my hair even more. But it like gave me the extra time until I could get back to having an appointment with a proper hairdresser who like finished it up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that. So literally anything, like anything
Yeah.
that anybody is doing, there is with some creativity, a course that can be created.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like even just go on TikTok and if you look up, I don't know, a plumber, how to do plumbing and how to do this, how to do that, there would be either a video or there would be a mini course. And you could learn anything, which is, I think, amazing nowadays to have this freedom to be able to learn whatever you're interested in, and obviously what's within your budget. But it's really the sky's the limit.
Wow. Very, very cool. What are you seeing as far as some myths around course creation? As far as the difficulty of it, as far as, which you kind of already touched on, that it's saturated. What are some things that you're hearing a lot of that just aren't true?
One of the big issues I see with my clients and also other entrepreneurs who are launching courses is that they have to have everything figured out. Like if they have to have the course set up, the platform set up, everything end to end done in order to be able to sell the course. And that's not true. Actually, what we do in Design You Need is meeting where the client is. Most of our clients struggle with marketing. They also, quote unquote, struggle with, putting together the course because you're never satisfied. You always want to, make it better.
Make it longer, make it
Yeah,
bigger.
longer, put everything in, just make it super valuable. And then they put a lot of effort and focus on the course itself, creating the course, creating the content, how to do and the setup and everything. And then by the time they're done, they realize, oh my God, I don't know how to sell it. Like I don't have enough followers, I don't have big of an audience, nobody's going to buy. And then, all the imposter syndrome and all the things kick in.
Totally.
So what we do is, and that's our goal, is to take over all these settings part, like the tech part of the course creation, so they can focus on the content itself and the marketing. Which means, and we also teach them this, they don't have to have the full course done. They can have the first module, first two modules ready, and then record it as it goes, but focus on selling first. So our approach is marketing first in that sense. So we help, like we take over everything, so they can do the marketing and try to sell the idea before it's done. So literally just test out the idea. And this, I think, is valid in other industries as well, not necessarily just course creators. If you have an idea and you don't know whether it's viable or not, just try to sell it. Just promote it and sell it before it's ready. Sell it before it's done, and it helps a lot because you see whether it even makes sense. Like, why put the effort and the energy into something that there might not be a market for? So that's what we do, and that's the myth of you have to have it ready. No, you don't. You have to sell it and see if there's actually interest for the course, the product, the service you're trying to sell. And then you can put it together. Obviously, you can do it yourself, but our goal is to, give all the support you need so you can, do the content creation with ease, and everything else is figured out. So by the time people are already in the course, everything is done, set up, and the person can like calmly do the content creation for the rest of the modules, and we will take care of anything else.
That's great. There are so many platforms that do course creation. Is there certain aspects of a platform that we should be looking for, that you're like, make sure the platform has this, or are they all pretty much the same? Because it's a lot. Like when you go in, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know which one to choose.
Yeah.
Is there like certain aspects that we should be looking for, or are they all basically the same? Just pick one.
It's actually a good question, because that's one thing we get asked all the time. Like, I don't know which platform to pick. This one does all these things and costs this and that. So I always tell people to just do a couple of easy steps. First of all, what is the goal of the course? What are you trying to achieve? And how do you want to achieve that? Like, what type of tools do you need? Is it video format, downloadables? Like, what features do you need? That's going to define which platform you pick. The second thing is, what is the audience expecting from you? Do they expect to have a community? Are you willing to do a community? Do they expect you to do live Q&As, show up, offer within the platform, or separate on Zoom? So all these answers would define which platform you would pick. So if you look at them and you put them side by side, I would say 90% they do the same thing. Some would offer more, some would offer less. Also, they have different packages. And it also depends on the budget. So if someone's just starting out, I would definitely recommend just to pick an easy platform or a cheaper one and go from there, and then you can always evolve. The goal is not to put you into a lot of costs from the get-go. The goal is to make you sell and then improve from that. So if you're just starting out, creating a beta course could be completely fine. Offering that on a reduced price, and then just make sure that you're gathering feedback to make it better and then improve it. What do people think about the course, the content, the delivery, the features? Do they need more? Do they need less? Is there something that is useless? Because maybe you downgrade your platform because you were looking for something super fancy, and then you realize, oh, I don't even need that. I don't need to pay that much money. I can completely go with something less complex.
Totally. Yeah, I was using Thrive Carts for my sales pages, and I was using Teachable for my course. And then about a year in, Thrive Cart opened up a course creation within their platform. I was already in Thrive Cart, and it was a solid number, like no monthly. And I think I was paying Teachable probably about $100 a month just to house the course, and Teachable was offering like lifetime. I don't know if they still have it, but like lifetime for the course creation part. They obviously take a percentage. They all take a percentage of the sale.
Yeah, they do.
It was fairly inexpensive. It was like $200 or $300 for a lifetime membership in the course, or for the platform. So what Orsi's saying is just be mindful of, what you have going on. Just because something's more expensive doesn't mean you necessarily need all the bells and whistles right off the bat.
Yeah. And there's a platform called AppSumo where you can buy lifetime deals, and they always put on you tools. These are small businesses that create new platforms, create new applications, a lot of with AI now going on. And there's also for courses. So you can go there and literally for $99, because I just checked prior to the call, $99, you can have a full course platform on lifetime deal. And it's going to evolve. So they're putting it up there because that gives them visibility, and it's also marketing. And if they grow more, then they're going to like discontinue these lifetime deals, and then you will only have the monthly options. But the good thing with these small businesses is they are eager to grow, and they're eager to hear the feedback. So if you like the platform, or if something is not working right, or you need a new feature, you can request that, and they will develop it. So it's a lot easier than going in for a bigger platform with bigger money or bigger budget and having to stick with what they offer and not, having any wiggle room.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to course creation, what are the other aspects that should be included in it? Like, I know you talk a lot about like email sequences, either before, after, during. What are some other things, not to overwhelm people, but what are some other things that we should be looking at other than just the course platform? Is there one or two other things that we should have in conjunction with the sell of the course?
Yeah, sure. So there are different parts in our own process that we look at, and depending on the client's budget, we would either do everything, or we would advise them on how to do things. So obviously setting up the course platform is one of them, but it's not the most important part. You actually want to sell it, so you would need a sales page, and having a proper sales page and have that connected with your website with the proper branding is probably the first step. So creating a sales page where you sell the course. Again, if it's beta, if it's not beta, just sell it first and validate the idea, see if there's interest. And once that's done, then you can put together everything else. Because if nobody buys, then why even bother, right? So having a sales page that is strategically built, so it has all the main important elements, the hero section where you call the attention, with a headline of what the course is about, who's it for, then the pain point, then the solution, the benefits, what's included, how long does it take, a bit about you just to showcase who you are, frequently asked questions, testimonials, even case studies. Whatever you have, you can make this shorter or longer. The goal of the sales page is to lead people through the steps from the pain to the solution to offering your help and showcasing what the course is about. That would be one. Then the next thing is payments. Obviously, if you want to sell, you need to have a proper payment provider. They are really easy now to set up. Like, you don't need to be a tech savvy person to link together your page with PayPal or Stripe. They make it fairly easy to do so. So that's the second thing. And then the third one you already mentioned is emails, which we put a lot of emphasis on, because emails is where you get in contact with the person personally, I would say, even if it's an automated thing. But emails is where you can show your human self, even if it's a transactional email of, we received your payment. You can make it more personal and be more human. and connect more with that, with your student or with the user who bought from you, and actually create a user experience that would, feel wow for them, and they would brag about it.
Fabulous. Definitely broken down into some simplicities. I think sometimes we do get so overwhelmed, but that's a nice little 1, 2, 3. Definitely that's doable. What's your thoughts on who should have a course? Should everyone who owns a business have a course? Do you think it's a great add-on?
um I don't think everyone should have a course, because there are a lot of courses out there that don't, um I'm trying to be politically correct, don't necessarily meet certain requirements. And by that I mean, s- a course should bring value. And obviously, value is defined on different levels. Something that's valuable for me might not be valuable for someone else, and vice versa. So, only in that case when, um, what you say can bring value to your people. So you need to know what you're offering, and you need to know your people. That needs research. So for someone who didn't do anything and just like came up with the idea, and I want to put together a course, you could do that, but might be just a waste of time. So doing the homework first, and do your research, could actually help, and maybe iterating the idea in a way that would make more sense for someone. So definitely not for everyone.
That's great. Um, yeah, it can be confusing knowing that anyone could do it, but just whether or not you should be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a calling, and you just want, like my client, she really wanted to help people across the globe. She's an English teacher, and I share her story all the time because I am so proud of what she accomplished and what she's doing. She's been an English teacher in the past, 12, 15 years in a school, teaching adults who have zero to no English knowledge at all, like mostly immigrants who, go to the United States, and they're struggling with integrating themselves. And at her school, they are helping them to learn basic English, but she doesn't speak any of the languages they speak, and they don't speak English. So she's using a lot of mimics and hand gestures, and a lot of cultural similarities between US and their cultures, and make it fun for them to learn. And in the beginning, they're always freaking out, like, oh, I won't understand anything. But as soon as she starts to speak and explain certain words, with gestures, like a mosquito bit me and it's itching, and she would do the noise, and like it's biting and now it's itching. So, and they understand, and they realize, yeah, they don't need to understand the entire sentence. I only need to learn one word. And
Mhm.
based on that, it just builds up. So she's been doing that in school, and it was very, very successful. And she wanted to expand it online to be able to support those who are not in the US but living in other countries and struggling with English. But she had no online presence at all. Like, she didn't even exist on social media, like nothing. By the time we talked, she was on Instagram for 2 months, and she already had 200,000 followers. And I was looking at her account like, what's the first post? And it was in 2022, I think beginning of October, and we spoke in November. So like 2 years ago, and she already had 200,000 followers. And I'm like, "Ooh, teach me, master. Tell me what you do." And I literally looked at her videos, and it was always the same setup. Like, she's filming herself explaining one word with, certain gestures, and doing like role play and stuff like that, and people love it. And she started an account on TikTok, also on Facebook, and now she has 3.4 million followers across these three social media channels. Um, Also by doing, her own marketing, and also because we helped her launch the course online, and spreading the word. So, um, it can be very, like, if you have a great idea and there's a market for it, then definitely go for it and just sell.
Yeah, it's a good story. Who would
Thank
have thought?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like just looking at her account, and she's launching, or actually we are launching her course every 3 months. And she started off with beginner, and now she has intermediate 1, intermediate 2. She's planning to launch intermediate 3 in 2025, and then there will be advanced 1 and advanced 2, and so people can go up the ladder. And with each launch, she's making 10K minimum. So there's so much interest to what she does.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of 10,000, what is your thoughts on pricing courses? I know that's a huge holdup with individuals is I don't know how to price it. I don't know how much it should be. And we can find courses for as little as $10
Yeah.
and as much as thousands for just per person.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? How should somebody gauge this?
There are different approaches. So if someone's just starting out and they're fairly new in that field, I would recommend to go in a lower price, just to test out the idea. We talked about creating a beta course that's a reduced price, and testing whether it sells, whether there's interest. Also, if you don't have enough or not that many followers or audience, this could be a way to tiptoe around the market and see if there's interest and how many people want to get into the course. That also allows you to create a minimal viable product that you can go with, sell that, and then go from there. So you sell it to certain amount of people, and then make sure to always gather feedback along the way. So ask what worked, what didn't work, what transformation they had, what they learned, what was good, what was not good, regarding the course, regarding the platform, all sorts of things, and then you can expand from there. For someone who is more of an established person, been on the market for a while, has her own framework, her own program, like one-on-one thing. Usually, what happens with coaches, for example, or consultants, is they do a lot of one-on-one coaching for years, and they have pretty solid understanding of how their own framework works and how it helps people achieve their goals. And when they come out with a course, they usually price it higher. And that would depend on how many people you want in. So if you want something to be very VIP experience, just a couple of people in, small group, very high end, luxurious feeling and personal connection to you, those are the ones that are usually priced higher. When you are talking to a bigger group and you cannot attend everyone's needs one by one, usually those are priced lower. To tell you exact numbers, yeah, as you said, it can vary from $10 to like 6,000, like or even more. It all depends on what the topic is, how much of a need there is, what's the niche. And again, you can start lower and build up from there. Even the biggest names out in the market haven't started with like a $5,000 offer in the beginning. They started lower and then they evolved from there. So there's always a room for growth.
Yeah, definitely. And the add-ons, like you're saying, as far as
Yeah.
course plus this, plus this, plus this can easily add on to packages. One of the things that I was just talking about on a networking call was something to that effect, where you can start with something small. Oh, I was talking about my workbook that I'm creating. You could start with the workbook that might be $35. And then that workbook can become 5 other things. It could become, a workbook plus coaching, a workbook plus a course plus coaching, a workbook plus group plus one-on-one plus coaching. You know what I mean? So, and the price can then raise from there, revolving around all the same stuff in your business, but just clumping them into packages. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great way to have some upsells with a course. So again, if it's a lower offer, the course might be the entry point to working with you or learning from you. And then the next thing could be have a one-on-one session, or maybe join a group thing or a smaller group and then go from there. So depends on what what your business setup is and what are your goals.
Yeah, a lot of versatility with that. I just bought into that. I was just telling the mastermind a week or two ago that I bought in on a book for like $30 or something on Facebook. And then the book brought me through a whole funnel with upsells and downsells and all of this stuff. And one of the things was a course for like $97. So, I started out just with the book for 30 or something. And by the time I closed out my sale, it was almost $300. It was like 270 or something like that. And just with those other little things, like a course, not necessarily little, but you can price it however you want to price it in different bundles. So definitely something to think about as far as adding some more versatility to your business.
Yeah.
And just the fun, it's just fun.
Yeah. And the reason why these funnels work so well is because they're offering complementing products. Like you buy the book and then there's a course that explains the whole concept or gives you practical examples for you to implement the steps inside the book, or they offer extra emails you can use and pre-made templates and things like that. So like each step of the way it offers something extra that you would need, so it's around the book, and it altogether makes a great package. So you end up buying the whole package, but instead of selling it for $300, which could be like, oh my god, it's too much from the get-go, you go 30 here, 15 there, another 27, another this, another that, and then it adds up and you don't even realize, because it feels like you got 10 things for this price instead of just one that was a package. So that's a marketing trick that actually works.
Yeah, it totally did. 100%. Every time I would read like the new thing, the new one would pop up, and I'd read it, I'd be like, oh, this sounds cool.
Yeah, I want that. Yeah,
that's $15.
Yeah.
And then I'd buy it and be like, it's only $15. And you go to the next one, you're like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, just for $9. Yeah, only for the next 10 minutes. And you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to miss that, because it's a not returning opportunity.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We ourselves fall for the same things that we use. It's great. But all good stuff, right? We're all improving, we're all evolving, we're all learning new things in the areas of which we want to be learning. And that's what's so important about this online world that we're in right now, is there's so much knowledge at our fingertips. And making sure that we're putting out good content, like Orsi's talking about here. We want to make sure that when we are creating a course of some sort, that it's full of value content that is actually helping people, that you're actually doing your research and diving in. And make sure you're reading reviews.
Yeah. Reviews are, it's I don't even know how to express how important reviews are, and how important it is to ask for feedback from the people you have one-on-ones, sold courses. If it's a high ticket course, $10 course, and no matter if it's like the last person who bought it, like just gathering their feedback will always help you to improve it and make it better, and then maybe sell it for a higher price next time. And also the person can brag about the results they got and make kind of free marketing for you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this has been great. I so appreciate all the goodness that you shared today. I'd love for you to talk a little bit. I mean, obviously we understand you do courses or help with courses. I'd love for you to explain exactly what you do and who should be reaching out to you. Who do you help?
So my company works with established businesses. These are women-owned businesses, usually, who've been on the market for 8+ years. They have a nice, solid foundation, great clientele offline. They also have website, online presence, but that has been outdated. Usually, the sentence that we hear is, yeah, if you look at my website, don't even look at my website, because it looks like it was done in the 90s. And they feel ashamed, and they don't want to share the link.
Those still exist.
Yes, yeah. And you look at it, it's like, it's not bad, but yeah, it does need a revamp and the redesign. So one of the things that we actually help is to strengthen their online presence. So that comes together with their extra need of, generating passive income, as you said in the intro. So when they come to us, usually the first thing is, oh, I have these offers, and now I want to offer an online course, or I want to start a membership to kind of generate more passive income. And then we look at their online presence, and it turns out that, it's not the best, and they need help with that. So what we would do is like a full blown refresh plus launching the course or the membership. So when it comes to doing this redesign, we start off with branding, and we would do the foundation, like going through the brand values, the mission, the audience, looking at the competition, what they do, how this person can stand out, how this brand can stand out, and then create a new brand strategy and brand identity, and use that for the course. So it actually helps to give solid foundation online. Again, offline can be fine, but online is a bit different story. So we start off with that, which is getting the branding done, and then we adjust the website, and the website would like get the new look, as well as include the sales page, any adjustments that need to go there. So if the new main thing is for people to buy the course, then we strategically put sections on the page, on each page, that would lead them through that kind of funnel to end up buying the course. And then the next thing would be actually working on the course. And while we do this branding and these parts, they can focus on the selling. So parallelly, we help them finding the right audience, figuring out where to look for them, how to market, and again, just sell the idea before it's ready. Obviously, the sales page is there, so they can start to sell. They don't have to have the content ready. So by the time they sold and it's done, then we can move on to finishing up the setups for the course platform, and they can focus on creating the content. So it all goes parallel. It's not just like a linear thing. Things are happening in the same time, which makes the timeline shorter and way more effective. And again, it helps to sell and take off the load of, oh my God, how I'm going to sell. I have all these things I spent so much time on creating the course, and now it's just there and nobody's buying. So this kind of like switches the script in their minds as well, like focusing on sales and marketing, and then on the content. And with like, once it's done, then we focus on the rest, like to make it better. We would test how like we would do analysis on the entire process. Where do people drop off on the in the funnel? How the emails performed. We talked about emails, like pre-sale emails, and when doors are opening and when doors closed, and those who are in the course, what type of emails do they get, and how do you follow up, and how do you make the whole experience nice for them. So we would test all these ideas, we would gather feedback, and then always change and iterate for the next launch. This also means that usually these clients would not run evergreen courses. They would have a launch period. They would open the doors for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then close down and have the course run, and then they would open up again. This also helps because there's a FOMO effect. So when people see that doors will close down, they most likely will join because they don't want to miss out. However, if it's an evergreen, they're like, oh, it's there, I can join whenever I want. So that would require a lot of like different type of marketing effort. But with these sprints, literally, we get to launch it, then have the course go. Obviously, if it's a recording, like you only have to do the content once, and then maybe do some adjustments. But then we can focus on making it better, making the flow better, adjusting the sales page, see, what are the minor tweaks that can go on. So we're always evolving, always gathering feedback, and looking how we can make it better.
I love that. And then for people who want to follow you, find more about you and your agency, where should people go?
The website is called designunit.com. So people can go there and see all the services that we offer. And they can also follow us on social media. We are mostly active on Instagram at design_you_need handle. And yeah, just reach out if you have any questions. We're always open to answering. The more questions we got, the better, because then we can create content on our blog posts as well as newsletter. And we always strive to create content that actually people are interested in. So we always ask questions like, okay, what is the topic that you're looking for? Last week, for example, we got some feedback to our newsletter, and people said they want to learn more about landing pages because we haven't covered that topic. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I don't have to come up with the idea. It's been asked, so let's deliver. And it made things so much easier. So it's a give and get.
There you go. There you go. For those of you watching live or on the replay, designuneed.com is in the clickable link in the description below. Her Insta is design_you_need.
Yes.
So follow her there. This has been great. So appreciated. I took a ton of notes. Love everything that you're doing. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
I believe the most important part when it comes to course creation is to use the so-called KISS method, which is keep it short and simple. So the biggest problem people do is overcomplicating things, overthinking. Oh, I have to have a 10 module course. It has to be 2 months long. It has to be this, it has to be that. And they use this overthinking to kind of procrastinate on actually putting things out there. What I learned for myself and what I'm testing out now in the past couple of weeks is a concept that I heard in one of the podcasts that was fail quickly. So if I have an idea, I try to, act on it right along. Because previously I would be like, oh yeah, I have tons of ideas, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Like my list of ideas is, it's like a big bag of Santa Claus. It gets bigger and bigger.
So
And most of them never actually get done or planned or executed because it's just a great idea, but yeah, maybe one day. So now what I'm doing is actually if I see or find an idea that seems really enticing and really attractive, I would be like, okay, let's test this out. And I would, again, create this minimal viable product, which is just try to sell the idea, which I did just a couple of weeks ago with a program to help people refresh their websites. I put together a sales page and the automation in like 3 hours and started promoting it. So it was more focus and emphasis on the promotion part and see if it even works. And then people sign up. I'm like, okay, this actually works. It's been a really low priced offer for what's inside. But this is me testing out the idea. And this is what I would encourage people to do as well, is to just like, when you start off, just keep it simple, see if there's an interest, if there's market, and just sell it and then go from there. Like I haven't had the whole program figured out. I'm just going as it goes, like preparing things 1 week after another, based also the previous week's feedback and what people say and what they want to learn about, because I have an idea what should go in. And if they say, yeah, no, there's something else that we want to know, then okay, I will provide that. And next time this happens, I will have an even better offer for a higher price, and also amazing testimonials.
Beautiful. Love it. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with us. To our dedicated listeners who are still here, thank you so much for hanging out. Remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. We want to thank Orsi for coming in today and talking all about how to launch your course easily without the tech overwhelm. And for those of you that are here often, I run a community called Her Nation Global. We would love for you to follow us. That also is in a clickable link below, along with Orsi's website. Until next time, do something awesome today. Much